promised very many times. We have in studio tonight the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, the engineer, Mugaa. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me to join you tonight.
And welcome to TV47. It's a Gen Z, young, TV station, just like you are the youngest Cabinet Secretary in Cabinet at the moment. If you could just tell us, the Senator for Nairobi had said, I have never seen this Cabinet Secretary. Where have you been, engineer?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer because I've been all over.
Right.
You don't have to be the loudest to be actually working. So you just need to focus on the job at hand and deliver on your mandate. I think that is what matters.
And what
it is not about popularity.
Right.
It is about delivery on your mandate.
All right. And what is important right now is food security. A lot of Kenyans are food insecure at the moment. We import a lot of foods that we consume, which is not the right way to do things, considering Kenya has agriculture as the backbone of its economy. Now, there is a significant amount of acres under irrigation at the moment, around 700,000+ acres, but we are aiming to almost double that number. How exactly are we going to do this?
Irrigation is very key because for too long we have depended on rain-fed agriculture. And I think if we went through the systems we learned in school, there were always those common names, the irrigation schemes, Kenya, Moya, Pokera, and then they're asking you what is it that they grow.
Right.
And this for too long has been ongoing because the focus has been on the national irrigation schemes. And times have changed clearly, climate change and also the rain seasons that we used to have that were really predictable are no longer predictable. Therefore, when farmers plant and they are ready, they have planted and they are now depending on the rain-fed agriculture, that is starting to prove to be very unsustainable. And therefore, we also need to consider that population is growing. By the census in the year 2019, we were around 47 point something million. I'm sure 5 years down the line, 5-6 years down the line, we are past almost 50 million.
Right.
And food is what is keeping me here today.
Right.
Also yourself. If you're hungry, this would have been a different conversation.
Of course. Now, engineer, we have about 85%, almost 80% of our lands being arid and semi-arid. Right. Irrigation seems to be the end-all, be-all solution. You have said that, the loudest isn't always the most, productive. Could you just tell us, what are some of the ways that we're ensuring that this arid and semi-arid land is being put into good use?
And that is very unfortunate for Kenya because, as you've clearly stated, we are about 89% arid. To produce on these lands, first we need water storage. Without water, there can't be irrigation. And therefore, we have some key dams that we are building. One of them being Mwache in the coast. We have Dhuake that is ongoing here in Makueni. We have Siumurunyidiza. These are dams that are ongoing. But also we have smaller water retaining structures, water ponds, and all these contribute to food production, especially now that the vast lands in this country cannot produce without irrigation. And now so we are starting a conversation to actually invite young people and actually attract private money, development partners into production, because we're having conversations of Galana Kulalu, which has been ongoing for a while. You need to marry the corporate agribusiness with the community-based agribusiness. And forget not, it is also a devolved function. Right. Because once we develop these community irrigation schemes, we must hand over to communities. These communities are under the county government. So the county government also must come up with what we call the CDUs, the county irrigation development units, that actually ensure sustainability, continuance.
Right.
Especially after we develop the big infrastructure and hand over these community schemes to the counties.
Right, engineer, one of the